Hi, welcome back to PSL Living. I'm Jenny Newell. City Council proclaimed November to be National Adoption Month. The Children's Home Society of Florida took part in that proclamation, and Executive Director Sabrina Sampson is here to tell us more about what her organization does to help build and strengthen families, children that have been adopted,
yes,
children that are experiencing, the foster care system, that kind of thing. So
absolutely.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so how many children were adopted in November?
November was National Adoption Month, and here on the Treasure Coast we had 31 children to find their forever families, and so that was phenomenal for us. We always try to have a really big push in all 4 counties during the month of November, and 31 was huge for us. We're very, very excited about that number.
That's great. How many children, do you have that number that are maybe still in the foster care program that are looking for that forever home?
Right now on the Treasure Coast, as of Friday, because our numbers are very fluid, there were about 60 children that were in the what we call awaiting adoption, that are either not in a foster home that wants to adopt or not with a relative that wants to adopt. Most of those children are older. They're teenagers. They could be a sibling group that we want to adopt together, and we understand that those children might need a little bit more attention in the recruitment, but our goal is to find a forever family for every child that's awaiting adoption.
Okay. Do you find that those older kids maybe struggle more or have other issues that come up?
Absolutely. When you're older and they know the biological family, there's a sense of commitment and loyalty to the biological family.
Oh, okay.
And while the child was removed from their home because of some sort of a trauma, abuse, or neglect, that's still their mother, that's still their father.
Right.
And so when they're over the age of 12, we really need to consult with that child about what his or her wishes are for adoptions. And sometimes they don't want to be adoption, and then sometimes there's just behaviors that begin to manifest themselves.
Okay.
And that's their coping mechanism because of fear of rejection.
Okay.
And so for the older children, it really takes a very special family that will embrace that child, will be willing to work with him or her through those behaviors. And we have had some very successful adoptions. One of our children that was adopted this year was 17 and was matched with a forever family, and it was a very successful adoption. So it is possible. We never give up hope.
That's great. What role do you play in sort of matching a child with a family?
My role is I actually supervise the program director for adoptions.
Okay.
And from time to time we do talk about cases, different struggles, and try to strategize about ways to maybe recruit differently, to look at the process a little differently. But it really is the adoptions team that reviews the home studies, because that's part of the process. Any family that is interested in adopting a child, they have to be vetted through the process first.
Okay.
And there's a home study that is done on that family, because we want to make sure that we are placing our children in safe and nurturing environments.
Absolutely, absolutely. So you all offer several different kinds of programs and services. Can you talk a little bit more about what you all offer there?
Oh, absolutely. Children's Home Society, I'm the executive director of the Treasure Coast Division.
Right.
We are a statewide organization with 15 divisions. In our division alone, we have 8 different programs. And so across our 8 programs, we serve between 11 and 12,000 children every year. Right now in St. Lucie County, we have the only runaway prevention shelter on the Treasure Coast, and that is our Wavecrest shelter. And that is where a child who doesn't feel that he or she is safe at home, there could be domestic violence, there could be physical abuse in the home, they can come and live at our shelter, and our staff there will work with the child and with the family to help the child return home safely.
Okay. Where's that shelter located?
It's on Selvets Road, and it's Wavecrest Shelter, and anyone who goes to our website could find out all about Wavecrest and get the contact information.
Okay.
We have a 24-hour hotline. So if a child doesn't matter what time of day or night, that service is always available. If you think about a Wendy's or a Walgreens, you see those yellow signs and it'll say a safe place.
Right.
You can go to any of those places, and that staff have been trained on how to get in contact with our facility, and we will send somebody in a van to come and pick that child up.
Oh, that's great.
And bring him or her back to our facility.
You have that partnership so the child doesn't have to worry about getting themselves to the shelter.
Absolutely.
What's your email? I'm sorry, your website.
Our website is www.chsfl.org.
Okay. And you mentioned the hotline. What's the number for the hotline?
The hotline, I don't have it.
That's okay.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, it's on your website.
It's on the website.
It's on the website. Okay,
yes.
perfect. I think I think abuse is in the in the number. Okay.
Oh, the 1-800-96 abuse number is anyone who needs to call Tallahassee to report abuse or neglect.
Okay.
But if you go to the website, there's a hotline directly to the Wavecrest shelter that they can access.
Perfect. Okay. What other kinds of programs do you offer?
We have a program we love called Teen Life Choices. It is a teen abstinence program and a pregnancy prevention program, and that's in partnership with the Children's Services Council of St. Lucie County, and we work with all middle schools and all high schools in the St. Lucie County area. Most families will remember that program if their son or daughter has ever come home with a simulated baby that do cry, that need nurturing, that have colic.
Wow.
They take those babies home on Fridays and they have to bring them back to school on Monday, and they receive a computer printout that tells us if they passed or failed. If there's any type of a neglect to the child, it automatically shuts down. And we'll know that as soon as we get the baby back on Monday and run the computer generated report.
And what do you hope the students participating learn from that experience?
You know, it's really difficult to be a parent. It looks like it's nice and it's fun and it's games and you get to bounce this baby around, but you have to take that baby everywhere. And imagine being a high school student having to take the baby to a high school football game on a Friday night.
Right.
Because there is a mechanism that lets us know if they were more than a few feet away from the baby. So you can't leave the baby at home with your mom or with your dad. You have to take the baby. So it's intended to give them a real life sort of an example of what your life would be like as a teenage parent.
Yeah, it's hard as an adult.
It's hard as an adult. And babies don't fix relationships. They don't make relationships. And it's not that you need a baby when you need to feel loved. And there are life skills that go with that as well. And it teaches them about budgeting, about employment, how expensive it is to have a baby. And then there's also a component that really talks about dating and safe dating and appropriate boundaries. So it's a whole life skills curriculum around this whole program, Teen Life Choices. We serve between 4,000 and 5,000 St. Lucie County students every year through that program.
My goodness. It must be rewarding. I mean, it must be challenging, I think, to see maybe some of the tougher situations, but it must be really rewarding to see it working.
It is. It is. It's very difficult when we receive a case where a child has been abused or neglected and his or her home. But what I believe is that every day we come to work, me and my team, because we want to make a difference. In some cases, it take a lot more time and a lot more attention by us so that we have a successful outcome. There are families that have a lot of support and they don't need as much intervention from us to be successful. But in those situations where the child cannot return home safely, then we have adoption as an option, and that's really a great outcome for a young boy or a young girl. It's a gift to the child and a gift to the adoptive parent.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you all work really hard to try to break the generational abuse.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, our goal is to provide interventions and provide services so that when that young person that becomes a parent, then he or she won't repeat those behaviors that caused him or her trauma. So with our 8 different programs, one of which is what we call our transitional living program, and it's a group home that's located in Vero, but it serves all 4 counties, and we take into that group home young adults between the ages of 18 and 23 who've been in foster care, maybe did not find a forever home, and at 18 or 19 they want to do something different. So it's an opportunity for them to live independently with the support of my staff and my team, and we help them with employment and job readiness skills, completing their high school diploma if they haven't accomplished that at a minimum. That facility can house up to 12 clients residentially. So that's an opportunity for us to work with our clients beyond the age of 18 and still try to see some impact in their life.
Right, that's great, that's great. Let's have your website one more time.
Sure, it is www.chsfl.org.
Okay, and if anybody wants more information about programs, resources, adopting, possibly becoming a foster parent, those kinds of things.
And they can always call our office. We have a local number, which is 772-344-4020. My assistant is Tracy, And she's extraordinary, and she can answer all questions or pretty much direct our callers to the correct program or supervisor to get their needs met.
Okay, great. Well, Sabrina, Sampson, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. You guys do great work. You're the executive director of the Children's Home Society of Florida, so we really appreciate all that you do and all these great programs and services. Hopefully our viewers will take advantage, if they need to, of the things that you offer.
We invite them to give us a call at any time.
That's great. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
We'll be right back after these messages.